It's October 9th. This is volume 12. And as you saw from 11, I won this alarm. So excited. But anyway, let's start browsing here. Probably wondering, since I got that one, what is now my holy grail? One I'd like. For smoke detectors, I'd like to have one of these. Either of those two. I think I mentioned before that I saw one of these in the... Oh, I can't remember. I wouldn't mind having one of these at the 90s wards. As you can see, it's got the hinged cover. Sam Nudge has a video of his grandma's or whatever, and I wouldn't mind having one of these. It's a 77R or 74. That's a 74. There's the inside of it. And then I definitely wouldn't mind one of these. That's an Edwards detector. I think you can see the shield there. It looks like a Honeywell, as you can see. And I wouldn't mind having a FXB 1A, or the battery powered version. And one of these too. It's an old decon, but it's sort of a transition between the 200 and the 300. So, and one of these too. This was from a whatever. It's a Guardian, kind of a later design of the FP1. There's a test button and heat sensor. The other one I like I said, is the Honeywell with escape light. There's a video of it. It's a WKBW. This one here. I'll link to it. But yeah, when I first saw that, I thought, wait, there's some bars missing from that. Then he tests it, and the light comes on. I'm like, holy crap, there was one with a light on it? So, those would be my next ones. Not sure if any of them could be considered my holy grail now. Oh yeah, and then the piezo sears I've mentioned too. And there's several more too, like the Master Lock one and ESL 331. That looked cool. Oh, there's the 5, then just the unit itself, or a head itself there. Smack dab in the middle.
I'm squeezed in the middle, smack dab in the middle.
BRK strobe alarms. There's an, I think that's a 320. Yeah, because it's got the wire. Duh. You can hear Boston in the background. Boston Fire. There's an older first alert. 90s. Jeez. Okay, it's the 10th. Columbus Day. 10/10. They have fire ice. We've seen that before. Last episode. We believe. And we've seen that too. There's American sensors. We've got one of those. They're cool. What's that clanking going on out there? They're actually doing our roof now. Could be what's happening. Maybe a vital alarm detector. I think I've mentioned that before, but looks like it screws into the light bulb. Sorry about that. Snoring. That doesn't look like a... That doesn't look right. Looks like a 9710. Yeah, see, it is. It's a simplex. Yeah, it is a 9710. What the heck? Then it's got this design on it. My friends from Lake City when they had in their house, not sure if I mentioned that, but they had these all over. Okay, it's Wednesday, 12th. 4th day of Fire Prevention Week. Not sure if I'll get one this week or not. If I see one cool, I will. Missed yesterday. You know why, viewers. You know why. Old lifesaver again. And my My vocal alert should be coming anytime soon. There's no 462. There's those. They're pretty cool. Well, it says base, but it shows the unit too. See? Our hospital had one of these. Or at least 2 of them. Batteries not included. These things don't run on batteries. There's a Coleman Sheltra. Didn't realize they had that design. Because the more popular one is that what became FireX's kind of consumer level detectors. I mentioned that before, I do believe. There's one of these again. Or is this the same thing? I think it could be the same thing we saw a while ago. One of my friends won the first alert, but sadly I'm not sure if it's going to go through. Gentex. There's the code 1. Let's see. Well, I can't see what model it is. Can't see what model it is. A flash. And they didn't list any details about it. Here, let's see. Could be a CD2. I think it is. It doesn't mention anything about batteries. No, don't add to cart. Just add to watch list. So I think that might be a CD2. So I might go for that. The weekends. I wouldn't mind having a CD2. That FireX, and I think that's the stuff we've seen or that's on Monday. Well, it's the 16th. Doing this a little early because we're gonna go up to Red Wing, Treasure Island, to celebrate my brother's birthday. He's already up there, and he doesn't know that we're coming up. It's gonna be a surprise. But anyway, I'm browsing without my glasses today. But heck, the last time I did that was the day I saw the vocal alert. So we'll see what I can, quote unquote, somewhat see today. Oh, there's one of those. I wonder if that's the same one. At least this one isn't $99 like the other one was. Holy crap. Oop, except for that. Holy not for that much though. Damn, people think you're sitting on a gold mine? Of course. That's still going to hold a candle to that Norelco. Wow. But anyway, here it is. These are pretty cool. And if you don't know, this was an actual comic book from like the 40s or 50s. Why it was brought back in the 80s, who knows? First time I ever saw one of these was in the drugstore in Janesville. They had them. They were selling them. But that was... I think that might have been actually the smoke scan version of it. And it had just a cardboard box with a line art drawing of it. This unit. And I think Menards had it for a while too. This version, the Smoky Stover version. See, there's the horn there, and then your sensor. Wouldn't mind having one again, or another one. I do, but I fell victim to a temper tantrum. A couple of these bars broke, and cover's loose now. So I'll think about it. This was in Deuce of Hazzard too, the Fortune Tellers episode. You might remember I had it on my YouTube channel for a while, but then I took it down and didn't want to get a copyright. Because it had the bug of the network that was on. So, and in case you're wondering there, the bug is that, like the little symbol that you see for the network. You know, like CBSI or the ABC or the NBC Peacock or whatever. You know, you kind of see it like in the corner semi-transparent. That's what's called a bug in the TV industry. But if you just look that, if you just look that episode up, but you'll be able to find it. I actually saw that episode when it first aired and got excited when it went off. I think this might be stuff we've seen I saw yesterday. Yep, that definitely is right there, that Sears. That's that, Gateway Scientific one that we've seen a couple times already. So, one thing before we end today. See, where was it? Right here. I wonder if I had gotten that, would it actually say Sentinel on it, on the back, or would it just say Kidda? You never know. But anyway, on to the next day. It's the 17th. You might notice I sound different. Not sure if it's allergies or cold coming on. There's a Slimline Black & Decker. Pretty cool. Oh, 2 watching. I thought it said 2 bids and batteries. So you can tell I'm talking like we're way low like this. Fire Act ones. You might hear me sniffle. Try to edit them out, but might happen if I see something, so those are pretty interesting. I've seen them before. I think might have seen them doing these videos. Well, there's a sniffle. Just like I said. These basically like the 5808 or the 2300, but it doesn't have the sensors. The heat detectors. That's cool. 2 available. There's a semi-old Lifesaver. Not the really old ones, though. And that stuff I saw yesterday. Okay, it's the 18th. That picture. You can tell I'm sounding back to normal here. I mean, not completely back to normal, but I sound better than I did yesterday. Could remember I was like this yesterday. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, so it must have been like a 24-hour thing. But of course, if I don't see anything today, you won't know. I'll have to say tomorrow. There's that Sears yet again thing. Still not quite the Piezo one. And I do think we've seen it before. Yeah. Yep. Come to think of it, it is the one we've seen. Is one? It is one we keep seeing over and over and over. Still cool though. What's that? Table model smoke detector? What the heck? I think we've seen ones like this though before. We've seen one with that same grill design at least. It says smoke detector. It says smoke detector right there. So that's pretty cool. I'll think about that. And it's the 19th. Let's see what we have today. Huh? Ammonia detector. Then we've seen that one several times already. What's that? Environmental clock, smoking gas intrusion detector too? What the heck? Well, there's the back, and there's your horn. There's the classic electromechanical. There's a test button and like a meter there. It comes within this box. That's cool. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But I've been meaning to say that now that I've got my holy grail, if for some reason eBay were to ban the sale of ionization detectors, I wouldn't be too sad. Obviously, there would be still some that I would miss out on, like the Smoke Art 805 and the Sears Piezo. And I'm sure if that Edwards one is ionization or photoelectric, but yeah, there would be some I'd miss out on. What's that? Another kind of multi-alarm thing. Fine. Guess we gotta do it this way. Continuing on. But for the textures, I'd still would be able to find is the old Gentex ones and the. I'm not sure if Smoke Art ever made photoelectrics. It's the 20th. Wait. Okay, it's the 20th. See if there's anything today. Being of that, another Edwards detector I wouldn't mind having is that 217. I've seen that before. I should have gotten it, but didn't. If I see one now, I'll get it. And I'm thinking of getting that code 1 too. Oh, and there's stuff for you. It's the 21st. Let's see what we have today. If anything, Edwards. There's that. I keep wanting to say Sears, but it isn't. The probe with the Sears design. There's that Firex again. I don't know if they actually use that design for their escape light detector. Escape light detector. Or if they actually had a version of their 101 with the escape light. Who knows? Maybe when Sears contracted them to design alarms for them, they didn't quite have a escape light one ready, so they just went with that design. But here's that 79R again. Seriously considering that and that code 1, like I mentioned yesterday when there's a Honeywell. But yeah, the code 1 I mentioned yesterday right at the end. There's that, another one of those ESL ones with the wheeling strobe. There's a Flame Buster SMK6D. It's got the one, that's the one with the button in the middle. 2-year warranty. Here it is in their hand. I'm assuming it's a her, but it could be a guy. Because I know there are some guys that have kind of the elongated shaped fingernails like that. There's a pretty popular airsoft reviewer on YouTube that has elongated fingernails like that. So it could be a guy, but could be a gal. Anyway, there's the back. And then the sides. What's this one? Oh, look at this. Power indicator smoke alarm, SMK20. False alarm silencer smoke alarm, SMK30. And then extinguishers. Never heard of the power indicator smoke alarm. But I think the false alarm silencer one is the one that has that different shape to it. But maybe it still has one like that. I mean, this shape. Who knows? Speaking of smoke detectors, the caretaker was here today and replaced the batteries in 2 of them in my apartment here. So. 22nd. Anyway, there's some of those things. Sorry about this. Looks like those are the really older ones. If I can find the back of the detector itself. One's right there. Move test lever for sensitivity test. Where's your battery? Power. Oh, right there, Nathaniel. Power cord, 2400. I think I'll get one of those sometime. I always say that and then I don't. And as you saw, that CD2 was gone. I don't think it was stolen. I think it just ended. Maybe I'll get lucky and they relisted it.
Maybe I won't. And it's gone forever. Who knows? If I do see it again, I'll get it right away. It's the 24th. Probably nothing. Relay. I'll relay the message to you. It's more 9710s there. Whoa! Oh, another 5S. Let's see. Looks like that bar's bent a little bit. Let's see, I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to see. I think it's the piezo one. Kinda wouldn't mind having another one of those. I'd like to have another 5B though, truth be told. 25th. Let's see what we have today. You can hear Mom in the background there. Well, those are just the heat detectors again. And black detector there. Whoa, there's an old smoke card. 800A. Pretty cool. With the bracket and everything. Okay. It's the 27th. I haven't found anything in a while. A couple days at least. You're not going to tell, but yesterday I got brand new headphones. The Sony ones. I said, you won't be able to tell at all. Here's a... Is that a vintage Fire-X? Oh, it's a duct detector. Oh, there's another Honeywell. Another CD200. Again, if we're only the one with the light. Again, if we're only the one with the light. But the CD200s are still pretty cool. I think we've seen that several times already. Pretty sure we've seen it. Yes, we have. Might get one with the dome button like that sometime. Oh, there's an older... Sorry about that. Older first alert. What's that one? Like an ADFC. Well, 76 RC. Cool! Too bad there isn't several of them. I wouldn't mind having one new in the box. There's another code one. Oh, there's a CD2. Not quite like that one we saw before. I almost like that one, the other one, better with that red box, but red box. Not that red box, people. But from what it looks like, I don't think that one's going to be relisted. So, okay, it's sec. I can't tell. Is that a? That can't be a. Stop. Wait, what? What? No, that's a CD. That's not a CD2. I think that's just the regular CD1. CD something there. That's definitely not a CD2 though. So much for that. I thought it was a CD2. Or maybe it was... No. No, it's not, because the box was one with the battery. See? It doesn't mention anything about being hardwired. That definitely isn't a 1. up there. Interesting. Alright, enough of today. Okay, it's the 28th. The older ones? Could be the black paste ones. Look at that, Black & Decker again. Probably that same one. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Geez, expensive, but... Still, though. That's cool. See, it's a hardwired version of the 700. If I do get that one, it'd be the most expensive one I've ever actually purchased. I think that's almost worth that price. It's so rare. Like that Norelco, no, not really worth 300 some. You know, just keep an eye on it. If it goes down, there's that picture again. We've seen that new tone. Well, I think this is stuff we've seen yesterday. Yeah, I do believe so. So that's the end of this video.